Exercise 14, coffee table exercise. Our first step here is to open up all our parts. So we'll go File, Open, and again if you have them on CD or disc, you'll open it from there. So CD, CAD Module 3, and Exercise 14. So you'll open the parts from here. Now, parts you won't have to open is there 4 parts again: leg, long rail, short rail, and top. So I'm going to pick leg, open, and I'm going to open 3 other parts. So that's the short rail, and next thing is to open the top. Yes. Now, once the 3 parts are open, I'm going to open up a new assembly. So I'm going to go File, New, and Assembly, and click OK. Now, before I start, this time best practice is I'm going to save the assembly, give it a file name. So I'm going to go File, or before that, File, and just X that. Go File, Save As, and I call it Coffee Table. I'll save it on the desktop this time. Coffee Table. And hit Save as an assembly. Now we're going to insert components, and we're going to pick leg, and we'll just come out and click on our graphics area with our leg. Now next thing is insert component, and this time I'm going to pick a long rail. I'm just going to click it out in the middle of some free space away from the leg. Now we're ready to start mating here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my mate's icon, and I'm going to click this surface now here. I'm going to mate that surface to the inside of the mortise. Now the next step then is that can move around, is I'm going to pick the shoulder of the tenon. I'm going to mate it to the shoulder of the mortise, and it's going to be a coincident relation, and take it. Now our tenon can only slide up and down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the top of the tenon, long rail, and I'm going to mate it as a coincident relationship up here to the very top, and it's coincident, and take OK, and it can't move. Now that's that mate done. I'm going to insert component, and I'm going to pick short rail, and I'm going to drop in a short rail. Now if I look here carefully at my short rail, it's mitered, so it's facing around the wrong way. Now how do I get that moved? I'm going to go to rotate component, and this time with the rotate component I'm going to change the rotate here to about entity, and this lets me then select an edge here that I can rotate my tenon piece around till it lines up better, and I'm happy enough with that there. So that's about entity. Now once that's done, it's the exact same method. So mate, 3 mates again, side of the tenon to the side of the mortise, and tick OK. Shoulder to the shoulder of the mortise, and then the top of the rail to the top of the leg, and that has that locked down. So the next step then is to insert component and a leg. Now this leg here needs to be rotated, so rotate component, about an entity, click on an entity, and I can rotate that around to there. Once I'm happy with it, tick OK, and then I go and open up my mates icon, and again 3 mates, side here to the inside of the mortise, and tick OK. Shoulders, so it's important now that you use your zoom and your rotating of your object. So zoom back out, and then the top of the leg to the top of the rail, and they're all coincident. Now once that's done, My next step is to insert another leg. So tick your mate, insert component and pick leg. Now again, this leg is going to have to be rotated around, so rotate component and about an entity. So I'll just pick one edge of it. So once I'm happy enough with it there, tick OK. Open back up the mate, so same method again, pick the side of the tenon, mate it to each side of the mortise. So remember that when you're zooming, the mouse, when you roll the roller ball zooming, it will always zoom to the center of the cursor that's on the screen. So that should help you in the zooming. So shoulders, and then the top. And if you put in a wrong point up here, just click on it and hit delete. So then the top surface, and there we have that. Next step is insert another short rail. Now this rail is going the right way, so what I can do is select the shoulder of it, to the shoulder of the mortise by mate, or the sides, shoulders now. And our last step then is make this surface to here and tick OK, and that's that mated. Now we can close our mate, insert component and a leg. Now you can see there, if we look carefully, my two tenons are facing the wrong way, so rotate component, change it to about an entity and select your entity and line it up with your left click of your mouse, and then it's mate top surface, so the exact same method again, side of the tenon to the side of the mortise, and then we pick the shoulders and tick OK. Now we have our table nearly together, and our final step then is to insert long rail. So insert component, long rail, put it in. Now our long rail is facing the wrong way around, so rotate component again, about an entity, and I'm going to pick this side here and I'm going to rotate it to there. And I'll just tick OK, and I'll zoom back out a bit, and I'll just move it in then and start to mate. That top surface will be going onto there, and rotate a little around. That surface will be mated to that surface, and then the shoulders. Now you needn't worry about this, because once the far end, because once you get that in there that you haven't mated, it can't move whatsoever because it's locked down. So that's the frame of your table put together. Our next step then is to put on our top. And our top is put in the exact same way, so close your mates. And what you're going to do then is you're going to go to insert component and pick the top. And just drop the top in away from the table. Then it's mate, and this surface here at the top, it's going to be sitting on anywhere around the top there, so select a part of it and we'll make it coincident. Then just push it in to line. Now that isn't fully locked down, but this time we're going to use a distance mate. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the edge just below the router moulding, that edge there. We're going to select the leg, one of the legs there, and we're going to use a distance mate here. So the distance is down here, and we'll change that distance there to 30. Now what happens here is, when you put your 30 in, it's facing like that. You can flip the dimension by pressing there, or you can also do it over there. And once you have that done, your table can only slide across, so we'll repeat the exact same thing again. So this edge and the leg, distance then of 30. and tick OK. And there you have your table mated and fully locked down. And then just all you do is file or close your mates, file and save. And that's the table put together. Again, if you've had any problems or wrong and you wanted to change a mate, it's just come down here. So say maybe if we wanted to, maybe it's going in against the wall here and we want less of an overhang, we might change the distance mate here. So we can right click down there, edit feature, we might up the distance here, and you can see you can change it. You could make the two of them coincident so that the two of them are in line. So we go back to the distance and we'll just change it back to what it was. So it's only by changing these around that you'll learn how to mess with them. So once that's done, you tick OK, you save, and you're finished putting the coffee table together.